Hello class, this is Yvette Trentini, your instructor, and we will be reviewing APA and text citations. First, let's review a couple of general pieces of information. For APA, always use Times New Roman 12 font. Use 1-inch margins, double space everywhere, no extra spaces or no single spaced areas. They would like you to use gender neutral, which means within a paper or an outline. If you're using hypothetical examples, if you use he at one time, use she the next time, and keep that pretty neutral. You should have a generic title page and a reference page in proper APA format, which are actually other lessons. So let's start reviewing in-text citations. APA requires two pieces of information, the author's last name and the year of the publication. You can see that in this example. We have paraphrased a sentence, and at the end of the sentence we have in parentheses the last name of an author, comma, and then 2012, which is, we can assume, the year of the publication. And if you notice, the punctuation is on the outside of the sentence. The citation is on the inside of the sentence. And that's a common mistake I see. Next, you can start incorporating those pieces of information within the sentence. So with this sentence, you can see Dr. Smith is a part of the sentence. So according to Dr. Smith, and then we have in parentheses the year of the publication, and then the rest of the sentence. Here we are emphasizing some type of credibility with Dr. Smith, and that's an important distinction between this example and this example. For the very last example, you can see that all pieces of information, the name of the author and the year of the publication, is incorporated within the sentence, but also, and this is something that you can consider doing, the name of the publication is also emphasized within the sentence. So this lends a different perception and credibility for this piece of information. We're saying Dr. Smith is highly credible, the year of the publication is recent, and the name of the publication is something impressive. So that is the third way to create an APA in-text citation, and you can see all three examples on this particular slide. In using multiple authors, you just include those authors' names, all the authors' names, the very first time you cite them. If you have two authors, you use the and sign. So, for example, Baker and Smith, comma, 2012. If you have more than two authors, you continue on listing out all the authors the very first time you cite the source within the paper or the outline, and then the next time you cite the author, you use this little et al. Latin derivative, which just means and the rest of them, and you can use that for, or you should use that for the rest of the paper. If you have a source, or let's say a piece of information that you found in two or more different references, you can cite all of those by listing them out in an in-text citation by alphabetical order. So as you can see, Baker and Smith and Williams, and you separate those sources by semicolons, and you can see that right in this example right here. Okay, now that we know the mechanics of creating in-text citations, let's talk about tips in paraphrasing. So paraphrasing is when you are putting an author's thoughts into your own words. You still need to credit the author for his or her thoughts, even though this is in your own words. When you're reading information, I recommend to put the information down, don't look at it at all, and then ask yourself, what does this mean? What is the author trying to say? That's the best way to put the information in your own words. Change the grammatical structure, change the wording. Don't try and recite it word for word, but put this in your own words. Do not change just a few words in another author's sentence. Instead, decode it and encode it. Do not drop headings from another author's work into your reports unless you clearly give the author credit for their headings. And then never ever copy and paste anything from another person's work into your own work. Okay, you may be wondering where I got this information from. I work out of both publication manuals of the APA Association, American Psychological Association. I use both the 5th and 6th edition. And also I have gathered a lot of information and experience from working with other students in past classrooms, and that is what I brought to you today. So this concludes our tutorial in APA referencing, one of them. You should go ahead and start working on your assignments and be using these skills in your own assignments in this class.